Dr. Ralph bragged that he was the brains of the operation and was quoted as saying, "I can make anybody anything." Frederick had heard him say that countless times. No mistakes, it was Dr. Ralph. He further denied any guilt, then proclaimed that he had obtained over 200 medical licenses and 100 pharmaceutical licenses for bartenders who wished to go into the drugstore business. Panic set in. Frederick felt exposed, as if there was a huge target on his back, a bright light surrounding him, arrows flashing red and pointing at him. Mrs. Hughes would boot him off her property. Dorothy Louise would never speak to him again. He would go to prison. The bell on the door jingled. He started visibly and immediately closed and folded the newspaper. Andrew walked in with his usual upbeat smile and greeting. "Morning, Doc." He hung up his coat and hat, put on a shop apron, and grabbed the broom. "We waiting for a delivery today?" "Yes, we are. I'll need your help with that, so get the store cleaned up as soon as possible. Oh, and I've already done the Cairo office." Andrew got right to work. Frederick liked the young man and knew that he could have been Andrew, 22 years old with no prospects after working hard to establish himself at a local bar near the Loop. He was a little older than Andrew, a little better positioned when Amendment 18 was ratified, and lucky to fall in with some movers and shakers. Well, maybe lucky, maybe not. Dr. Ralph loved to talk, and Frederick wondered what records he had kept. Were there lists of names somewhere? Would the police find them? Dorothy Louise would be arriving soon. What if she had already seen the news? He felt as if his guilt was evident, oozing out of his pores and visible to everyone around him. Andrew glanced his way and stopped sweeping. "Are you okay, Doc?" he asked, concerned. Frederick realized he was sweating profusely. He started to answer, but was interrupted by the loud chime of the cellar bell. Simultaneously, the bell on the front door jingled, a symphony of salvation. He glanced towards the back of the store, then turned and looked at Dorothy Louise as she walked in. Then he looked at Andrew. "I'll go accept the order. Come down as soon as you can."
He bolted for the cellar stairs, but caught the look that passed between Andrew and Dorothy Louise. Frederick and Andrew spent the next 2 hours verifying, logging, and storing the liquor order. Frederick's signature was required on all federal forms, so he checked the shipping documents and completed the controlled inventory forms, while Andrew moved the bottles upstairs. There wasn't a lot of discussion. Frederick had time to calm down and think about the drama. He had been surprised to read that Professor Sachs, a former head of the Missouri Department of Education, had been found with officially pre-signed high school diploma forms and official department seals. When asked how many fraudulent diplomas he had produced over the past 8 years, Prof. Sachs's estimate of 15,000 seemed impossible. Frederick knew that Dr. Alexander controlled the college, and Dr. Ralph's fingers were everywhere. He heard footsteps, but this time they were not Andrew's. They were light, hesitant. Dorothy Louise called out quietly, "Freddie?" She was the only person in the world who called him that. "Freddie, you need to come up here now. There is a policeman and some other men. One of them is from the pharmacy board. They say they need a mug shot. Golly, Freddie, are you okay?" He turned towards the boxes and bought some time fiddling with the flaps and moving bottles around inside the nearest crate. "On my way, Dot, it's okay," he said. "Go upstairs, I'll be there in a minute." He took a couple of deep breaths. Might as well get it over with. He grabbed a couple of bottles of Yankee Rye medicinal whiskey just to have something to physically hold on to and walked upstairs. A uniformed police officer stood near the front door. A slender man with shirt sleeves rolled up was busy adjusting the lens of a box camera on a tripod. His suit jacket and coat were thrown on one of the fountain stools. A large sheet of black fabric had been raised in front of the camera. Frederick was confused. Mug shots, he thought, are normally done at the precinct station, aren't they? A tall, distinguished gentleman in a nice suit approached him, hand extended. Frederick handed the Yankee Rye to Andrew, shook the man's hand and said, "Frederick Bond, what can I help you with?" James Rivers, director of the Illinois Board of Pharmacy. Hey, only you are licensed to handle that alcohol, you know. Frederick reached over and took back one of the bottles from Andrew, holding it out towards Director Rivers. New stock, he said. Seal's not broken. Andy is helping me with stock and inventory. That's allowed, right? Right you are. Good to know we have men who know the law and follow it. Frederick's mind was racing, trying to read the clues. He decided the direct approach was best. So, Mr. Rivers, what bring you out my way today? And what is this all about? He motioned to the camera and its operator standing by patiently.
We are tightening the system, Mr. Bond. I'm sure you read the papers this morning about that scandal out in St. Louis. Seems it has spread to Kansas City also, and Lord knows where else. But we are going to keep Illinois honest. We're updating all of our pharmacy license files, and yours, Mr. Bond, does not have a photograph. Frederick stood still, thinking, as things started to fall into place. Mr. Rivers, he stated, I'm sure I submitted a photograph, a headshot they called it, when I applied to take the examination. Frederick was half bluffing, searching to flesh out long-harbored suspicions. He had paid Dr. Ralph $300 to take the examination for him, and Ralph had insisted on another $50 for a photograph. Frederick had never seen a photographer. There had been no picture as far as Frederick knew, and that had always bothered him. Oh, you absolutely did, Mr. Bond, replied Mr. Rivers, nodding his head for emphasis. You would not have been admitted to the exam room without photographic identification, but the photographer did shoddy work. Look at this. Rivers opened a leather folder and pulled out a photo. Look at that, he said with disgust, handing it to Frederick. What had been a photo at one time was all pale yellow and tan within ivory borders. There was only the ghost of an image remaining. I paid good money for this, commented Frederick sadly. It's not just you, if that is any comfort, replied Mr. Rivers. We're seeing quite a few of these here, and a large number of them in Missouri. We think the locus of all this is probably St. Louis. The photographer didn't put his name on the back of the photo as usual, so we surmise that the work has been intentionally sabotaged, and he's probably part of the ring they have busted down there. Said Frederick. That makes sense then. I recall he told me he was traveling. Well, let's get this done. He moved into position in front of the black cloth. The photographer was professional and quick. When he finished, Dorothy Louise and Andrew helped him fold the backdrop cloth. Frederick resumed the small talk with Director Rivers. Nice that Chicago's finest is helping out, he stated, giving a small salute to the police officer. Have you encountered any danger? Nope, and don't expect any. It's just easier and quicker to travel in a vehicle with flashing lights that gets the right-of-way. Chicago is a bit bigger than Springfield. The photographer, ready to go, was standing at the door. We need to go now, he said. It's starting to snow. It won't be much, commented the policeman. It's only October, but it will tie up traffic. Let's move. After they left, Frederick stood at the door looking out. It was gray, and tiny snowflakes were falling fast. There was a thin scrim of icy snow already on the ground. Frederick didn't believe it would last. Too early in the season, and it had been too warm, but it signaled a change. He turned to Dorothy Louise. Thank goodness the other shipment wasn't delivered while they were here. I didn't get a chance to tell you when I first came in, she responded. I saw Boney downtown. The product is being delivered directly to the house, and me and Andrew will sort things out tomorrow. We have about 100 people coming on Friday. They all know to speak easy. Frederick looked back outside. His mother's words floated through his mind like a blessing. Snow covers the ugly with a blanket of grace. He thought he might